Okay, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. So, hey, what's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It is Hits and Heels. I'm Coach Terry Bryant. I am from Lexington, Kentucky. I am one of the only female football coaches in the state of Kentucky. And I created Hits and Heels so that I can bring more awareness to women's tackle football and also some of the locals. Plus, I'm a sports nut anyway, and I just love all sports. But I'm also a Kentucky nut. My husband played football at the University of Kentucky. My son is now presently a sophomore at the University of Kentucky playing football. He's number 14 playing safety. And because I'm a football fanatic, of course, I had to bring a Kentucky legend on tonight as my guest. And so we have Coach Sean Woods, who graciously, at the last minute, agreed to come on today so that we can just hear his story. We're going to chop it up a little bit. Coach Sean Woods, thank you for coming on Hits and Heels. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Brother Brown called me and told me that
Oh, that's my
somebody
dude.
had couldn't make it, and he asked me could I do it, and that's one guy. You only got so many guys in this world, people in this world that you just can't say no to, and in my life, he's one of them. So.
Oh, what a blessing. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
gotten very fond of him. Since he's probably one of my biggest supporters on Hits and Heels ever since I've started. He's always tuning in, and I'm sure he'll log on here pretty soon and say hi to you as well. So listen, I don't even know where to start because Kentucky has been put back on the map as far as everybody talking about it. Coach Cal decided to go to Arkansas all of a sudden, and then we were kind of in limbo about who was going to come in to coach. And then, we get Coach Mark Pope in after maybe looking at some other people. So tell me, as a legend, how are you feeling about that?
Well, it was great that Mitch Barnhart considered someone who played here, and I understand his method. Um, you know, Not to say Cal didn't do a great job and he was doing bad things, but it was starting to get away from the typical historical Kentucky fan. And one thing that makes Kentucky athletics, great, especially basketball, is guys sticking around so people in the Commonwealth can get used to them, somehow get to know them in some form of fashion, and have an opportunity to see them play and wear that uniform more than 1 year.
Oh,
And
yes.
and then it doesn't feel as intimate anymore. You don't know these kids because they're only here 8 months, and then they're going off, playing in the NBA, and I can't blame them. You know what I mean? If you have an opportunity to go play basketball and make millions of dollars of doing it, that's what we, can't beat that. But
Yeah.
they just want a sense of getting back to where it used to be and bringing somebody back with some familiarity. And right now, it's like it's several of us is in the coaching business, but at this point, the way timing has presented itself, Mark was the one for the job, and he's done a great job where he's been, and our thing is he knows what this is about. It's not about him, it's about Kentucky, and I think that's what the fans, especially Big Blue Nation, has been thirsting for a while.
Oh, I totally agree. I think one of the things when I brought you on and I told that I told my husband that you were coming on, and one of the things that he told me about you that wasn't on your bio was your will to win. And that's a mindset that I felt like was kind of missing in the last couple of years. I don't think I've seen it since the 2012 team that actually won the championship. I just felt like Coach Cal didn't really have to coach them because they just had a desire to win and they did whatever it took. But I felt like these kids, these last maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe, kind of fell short with that. Did you see that or did you see something else?
Well, I only saw this year because
Okay.
I've been coaching
Because
doing my
you've been
own thing.
coaching.
But
Okay.
people have been calling me, telling me about it. And also, I've played against Cal 4 times. I
Okay.
played twice at Mississippi Valley, once at Morehead State, once at Southern University. So I've competed against him. He has better players, but what happened, I think, is It was a quick turn, and he set the trend with one and dones.
Mm-hmm.
But he set the trend, and the trend was these guys were coming here because Kentucky do evaluate you on recruiting. They know who the top 25 players are in the country. Every fan knows that. This is one of the few places that fans know who the top players in America are.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things that they expect you to do. They expect you to go get the best players in America. This is Kentucky. He did that. Okay. And to his credit, and in recruiting, you got to have a nugget
So his
to
nugget was
attract.
the
And his nugget was the NBA. In
right.
6 to 8 months, you come play for me. You'll have an opportunity to have, generational wealth. Who's going to say no to that? You do it a couple times, your track record's good. Now everybody in America wants to come play for Cal, not to win championships,
But to
but
get
to
to the
get the
next
bag,
level.
to get to the next level. And that's what it became. And he was winning with that. But in 2012, he had a nucleus of talent, and he had the best. And what he did was he struck lightning in a bottle because he recruited winners. Every kid he recruited came from a winning program from high school. From Kid Gilchrist, coming out of New Jersey, he's won all his life.
Mm-hmm.
You got Anthony Davis, who's the ultimate winner. You had Darius Miller, who won a state championship in Kentucky, used to winning, coming from a great program in Mason County. You had Teague coming from Indiana, winning a state championship at Pike High School. So he had winners, and every kid he brought in was a winner. So it didn't take that much,
Right.
you know. And let me tell you something. It ain't always about X's and O's. It's about Jimmy Joes. Don't ever forget that.
It's always
Recruiting,
about the Jimmys and the Joes.
no doubt
It's
about it.
all about the players. Yes.
And he had that. He had the right fit. He had some other good teams with John Walls, DeMarcus Cousins, probably the more talented than the 2012 team. But I'm not going to say they weren't winners, but they didn't gel as good for the common good of the team like that 2012 team.
Okay.
And then as he kept going, okay, he kept getting the best players, but they were only good enough to get him beat in crucial times, winning it. Because as you know, and as you see, in order to get to that national championship, it takes gut, grit, a little luck, but you got to
Yes.
have a will to win that only
Yes.
comes from experience.
Yes.
You can't go from the prom in April to in 8 months. A year later, you got
To
enough
the
toughness and grit by yourself as 18-year-olds to go against grown men who've been there and done that 2-3 years and just missed it. They want it. They've
yes.
tasted it. Our kids hadn't tasted it. Not to say right, wrong, or even indifferent, but that's what it was. And you got to give him credit because he still won a lot of games with these guys. But getting to that next level, once that NCAA tournament comes on, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother mindset. And we weren't getting there like we had been. And Kentucky fans started to get a little anxious, you know, and, one thing led to another. And he had a good run. He had 15 years here. He had the longest stint besides Adolph Rupp in the history of Kentucky basketball. So he did some things. He got a lifetime contract. He wouldn't have been, if he don't come to Kentucky, there's no
He's not
way
a
he's
Hall
going
of
to
Famer.
into the Hall of Fame. So he got a lot of things out of Kentucky. Kentucky got a lot of things out of him. We were able to recruit and see the best talent in the world because most of them are still playing in the playoffs. We just couldn't, the fans here just couldn't
Just can
enjoy
enjoy
it
them.
long enough. And that's where the frustration started to creep in.
So, with your years of being at that level and then coaching on the next level. So one of the things that I've tried to do is try to educate my moms, especially my single moms that aren't really into sports and that are trying to get their son recruited. So I chose football and left basketball because, of course, football has 10 times more scholarship opportunities than with basketball. So as a coach, what are some of the things that the players are lacking when you're recruiting or when you get them on campus and then you find out that there's something missing besides that will to win? Is there anything? Because
Yes, a
these
lot.
kids, because the AAU circuit, I think, is kind of,
Well, these kids are different. Now, I'm not going to even,
yes,
sugar that. Um, we live in a microwave society, and every kid in the world thinks they're pro.
yes,
And basketball has become a country club sport to where you got to pay to get individual workouts now. It's become a big business. And these kids and the way society is now, they have a hard time taking constructive criticism.
yes,
You can't coach like you used to. You can't challenge them like you used to. My coach called me everything and besides a child of God, but I knew he loved me. I
right,
knew it. You know what I'm saying? When you messed up, that means you weren't focused. If you weren't keeping up, that means you weren't tough. If you weren't competing, that means you didn't have no grit. And coaches only want winners. And their job used to be was to push you as hard as they could to make you as great as you can become. Now it's flipped. You can't coach them. You almost got to beg them to play hard for you.
yes,
We don't have this is not amateur athletics anymore. Kids are getting paid through NIL deals out of the yin yang, and you're taking a kid that come from a single parent family, never had money a day in his life. God blessed him with a skill package to make him one of the, top players in America, to now have an opportunity to go get the bag. But it's about the bag. What about the coach and the program? And the coaches are the ones who's suffering because all these teams, these kids are transferring at a rapid rate. We want to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, JoJo Smo, my friend, or I played against him in camp. I was better than him. He's transferring and he's getting X amount of dollars. Coach, I'm gonna test the waters and see what I could get. It's too much comparison because of the internet, because of social media. You know, I played at Kentucky. I got friends that went to North Carolina. I have friends who went to Duke. I have friends who went to IU, Purdue. I didn't know what they were doing or what they were getting from a financial standpoint. Wasn't my
right,
business. You know, I know we weren't getting this.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
that's what this has become. And you have to be careful, even in the transfer portal and even coaching kids, period. And you can tell by talking to their parents what it's all
Oh my
about.
God.
I can have one. I messed up one time and it cost me. I was at Morehead State. I didn't read the parents right. You
Mm,
got to read the parents and see where they're coming from. See what their main agenda is. It ain't because you got Kentucky across your chest anymore. It's about how much can I get and how can you get me to the NBA. That is it, especially on the high major level. Now, on the mid major level where I coached, I can go get a freshman that wasn't as touted. I can't get the top 100 kid. I may steal a diamond in the rough every now and then with a transfer, but they do well for me, help me win 20, 25 games, win the tournament, get to the NCAA tournament. And guess what? Now they're a hot commodity. I don't have them anymore. So now I got to figure out how to go replace that to stay at that level, you know? And it's not about overachieving anymore. I want kids that are hungry, that have nothing.
yes.
I enjoy coaching them more than a kid that coming from a well-to-do
Well to do.
deal,
Yeah.
been pampered all his life. I can tell that he's not going to be for me because I coach
Hmm.
too hard for him to be able to sustain it without
Right.
calling mom and dad saying, "Coach said this to me. Coach said that to me." Mom and dad get mad or whatever. Now they calling the AD. Now they're saying
Right.
you're verbally abusing kids, and that's not what it is. Every kid
Right.
I've ever coached, I've loved. I'm one of the few coaches in America, if only maybe only one. I've been a head coach 15 years. and I have 100% graduation rate.
Wow.
Every kid that's going through his senior year with Sean Woods has graduated, and 3
Congratulations.
stopped. So my expectations as a black man is
Come
to make
on.
sure guys get their education, and
Yes.
through competition and going through things to become champions. When you leave me, you prepare for anything in life because you're the ultimate competitor. You may go to a Fortune 500 company. You may be an account exec. That other account exec trying to get to where you trying to get to. You know, he wants that raise. He wants to get promoted just like you do. Who's going to win? Who's going to be more creative? Who's going to have sustainability? You know, and that's who I am, and that's what I've always been. And there's a different way to do it now because you can't talk to these kids like that. You can't put them through some of the things that I went through, you went through, you
Yes.
know, anymore. And I had to take a step back to reevaluate the whole deal on how you motivate kids, you know. And now you more so have to be their friend more so than be their coach, you know. And now some kids you get may take that friendship and that kindness as a weakness. You get in the heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? And something comes out of your mouth in a competitive way because you're in a competitive situation, they may fold on you.
Yeah, because their feelings are hurt.
Their feelings are hurt, you know? It's almost like a league of their own. Remember the movie
Yes.
League of Their Own?
Yes.
And my man Tom Hanks said, it ain't no crying in
There ain't no
baseball.
crying in baseball.
It ain't no crying in basketball. You
Right.
know what I'm
Or
saying?
football.
But
Come
that's
on.
the
Yes.
society. But that's the
But
society
that's
that
the
we live
society that
in
we live in right now.
because mental illness is real.
Yes.
And it really started with COVID,
Mm.
you know,
It
and
exposed a lot of COVID exposed a lot of stuff with the mental illness.
and a lot of people are using that too instead of what we went through mental illnesses. I mean, we had mental challenges too,
Yes,
but
we did.
we fought through them. We didn't have no other way. Now there's so many points of least resistance that these kids can, there's too many crutches and there's too many excuses used for why a kid failed. Instead of
Yeah.
he didn't work hard enough, the other man was better than him, so on and so forth. The truth doesn't matter anymore. It's how they feel. And if they're feeling bad, they call on you. ADs and things like that are getting so sensitive and scared because you throw the mental illness deal out there. Now you're looking at lawsuits. Now you're looking at this and that. And that's not the case. We're just in a competitive situation, in a competitive world. And in order for me to get you to a place you've never been before, we got to do things that you've never done before. And you got to be comfortable what? Being uncomfortable. A lot of kids can't stand being uncomfortable anymore.
But in this day and age, in order to get ahead, especially as a black person or a brown person, you got to. And I don't know, even even the women teams that I coach, that's like one of the things. I think the mindset is the hardest part of getting through their head as far as being able to overcome any type of the adversity that we have to go through. Of course, I'm coaching women, so we have to. You just have to push through. Okay. So let's go back to what you talked about when you said that at Moorhead you had a parent that you should have evaluated better. So today I saw a post that said a coach, and I can't remember where he was, but he stopped recruiting a kid because of a parent was going in on LeBron and somebody else that was in the NBA. And he said, I don't want that type of, if the parents are like this, I don't want their kid, because if that's how the parents are going to be, I'm not going to deal with them. Is that kind of what you're talking about as far as
Yeah.
being able to
Yes.
evaluate what these
You got
parents,
to
they got to
evaluate.
be careful what they're putting on social media. If you're going in on the coaches, I wouldn't want to recruit your kid.
No. And all these parents now are going in on their high school coach. For what?
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? So there's no way. If you do your high school coach like that, I know you're going to do me like that because that's what
exactly.
you, soon as
Because that's
things
what you
don't go
do.
your way. Yeah, soon as things don't go your way, what you gonna do? And here's the deal: before NILs got real big in the last year or so, the last 5 years, the transfer portal has been off the charts. 2,000 kids. You know what you call them? And I got to recruit them because I'm trying to get a better player, right? You got to look at them somewhere and call them a quitter because they running from
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Either they
Well,
enough
unless
time,
they got pushed out.
unless
So
they got pushed out. But 9 times out of
out of
10,
10, they didn't. They left because
they
they
didn't
felt
play
like they
enough
should have been getting playing time. They felt like they should have been in the game, or they felt entitled
as a freshman. You
as a
see what I'm saying?
freshman. Yes.
If you're a freshman, you got to work your way up. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that no more. You
No,
got
they
that
want to.
play away.
They're you well, and I think that's where the educational part of parents and stuff, because they have to feel like when you're used to being the man, but you're in high school, that jump level from high school to college is a huge jump. Like it's only 1% of high school kids that get to, especially to the D1 SEC Power 5 level, if that's what you want to call it. It's only 1%. And so you got to be a dog to be in that 1%. And I think a part of the problem that we have is the star system, where they rate these kids as a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. Because I'm like, because it's still somebody's opinion.
Right.
It's still somebody's opinion. And so I think with that opinion, so when you do, let's say you do a deep dive with a player and they're saying that he's a 5-star. Do you evaluate, well, let's say he's from Kentucky. Do you evaluate what district he's from, what the competition is in his district? Because, you can be in Greenup County or someplace like that and be the man and leading the state, but you don't play nobody.
You got or
the coach likes you and is padding your stats and letting you run your stats up in a game that he probably should sit you so that you don't get injured.
Well, here's the deal. I've never really signed a kid without watching them live. You know what I mean? If I didn't get a chance to go see you play
against good competition
on your visit, okay, I'm going to put you through one of our harsh individual workouts.
Okay.
And later on that night, you're going to go play pickup against our guys.
Oh, okay. Just to see where you measure up.
Just to see where you measure up with what I got.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, and also, if I haven't seen, I'm still going to go on Synergy or whatever and break everything down. I want to see the good, bad, and the ugly. And not only that, I want to see how you respond after something has happened. And then I'm going to ask you, especially if you're a transfer, I'm going to call the coach and say, hey, give me the skinny. Why is he leaving? And then I'm going to ask the kid too, why are you leaving? And if there's two stories match up that is feasible to me, I continue to recruit them. If the stuff don't add up, coach tells me, look, coach, he cried. I mean, he's a nuisance. Didn't like going to class, late to practice. You can't say nothing to him. Blah, 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 blah. Ain't tough as what he seems. Boom, I'm done. But that's my job.
Absolutely.
As a coach to do my due diligence when I am recruiting them, getting all the information that I can. And then also, if I do want them, I got to do my due diligence to circle the wagons around him to see who's important in his life to gain their trust. So then when it comes down to make a decision, I didn't already cover my bases. It could be the pastor of the church. It can be the neighborhood drug dealer. It can be the mama's boyfriend. It can be baby mama. It can be baby mama's mama. Whoever is close to the kid, I'm going to get close to them and let them fit, because I need the trust. I need them to trust me. And then I'm going to be honest with them and say, hey, I'm going to coach you and push you harder than you ever been coached and pushed before in your life. But I'm going to love you more than your family. You're going to question who loves you more, me or them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that you said that, because even with my team, I tell them, I said, if your friends around you are telling you what you want to hear and they're not telling you the truth, or they're not challenging you, they're not your friends. and you need to reevaluate them.
So
that's my role as your coach. I'm not
right.
beating you up. I'm not downing you. I'm not doubting you. All
You're
I'm doing
challenging
is I'm challenging you to be the best version of you that I feel like that you can be. So yeah. Oh, Mike Graves is on here. He said you've come a long way from coaching. Look at this. He said you've come a
Hey,
long way from
Mike
coaching
Graves,
at
know
Eastern
I was
Junior
coaching
Pro.
Junior Pro. When I was coaching Junior Pro, listen, coach, I was a maniac. I was a stone cold man, and I was coaching 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds. Now, I never lost now. Nobody
Right.
ever beat me. I had the toughest team. I had girls that they couldn't touch, and they was playing with the boys. But I was a maniac back then, but couldn't nobody touch us, though.
I love it. Well, my favorite man is on. Mr. Brown is on. He's my favorite. He says, has NIL and the transfer portal, we touched on this, fractured the college sports entities?
Yes, it has. Because, all the time everybody, even the coach, we thought that players should get a stipend or a player.
Absolutely.
And they all deserve something. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't think it through, because in amateur athletics, there still has to be a cap. Even though, it's your own name, image, and license, can't nobody stop you from making as much money as you possibly can. But this is not what NIL is supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to come from the schools. It was supposed to come from businesses
and stuff like that, because now it's because
and
even with
whoever had the most social media hits, this and that, those were the ones who were more attractive and got the most money. Now that's not the case. That's a bonus. The school is coming up with the major dollars more so than you would get on the other side. They're giving millions of dollars. They're giving $1 million.
But I thought that was called pay for play, and I thought that was still illegal.
It's not legal now. You heard what they said when Cal left and went to Arkansas.
I know, $4 million, $5 million
money. Mark Pope got 4.5. That's
and I guess that's the part that I don't understand. I don't understand how we're giving them this money up front before they've proven themselves.
Well, we're not giving them all the money. They're getting paid in stipends, so they may get paid once a month. They may get paid at the beginning of the semester. Then they may get another lump sum at the end of the semester. And then
regardless of their performance
starts, they may get another one. And then they may get the final bag at the end of the year.
So if they come in and they're not who we thought they were, they still get their money.
You sign a contract. You tell them that's what they're getting. That's what they're getting.
So okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking in the future, they need to be performance based. They need to become performance based.
Schools need to get smarter. One, okay. If we're going to do this deal and you're an underclassman, I need you for 2 years. We're going to sign a 2-year deal.
Yes.
Okay. That's number one. Two, if you leave or you put your name in the transfer portal before your contract is over with, you don't get the rest of it. Soon as you come in that compliance office and say, I want to go in the portal, your NIL deal is over.
And if you change your mind, it's still gone. And if you change your mind, it's still gone. You still forfeit.
That's right. That's right. There's got to be some stipulations to this.
Yes, absolutely. And then the third one, I would love to see. I would love to see some performance based. I would love to see some. You got to be a first team, second team, all conference. You've got to lead the nation top 20 and scoring and rebounds and assists, or before we pay you anything. Because if you're saying you're worth $1 million in college as a college player, and you're coming in and you're already ranked top 25, then you need to live up to that top 25 ranking.
But here's the deal, though.
And we're going to put that in the contract.
But here's the deal. The pros don't do that. The pros give you your. So when you get to the NBA, say you're a high draft pick, right?
Right.
And you become a bust, they still got to pay you out your contract.
Really?
See, so it's the same.
But
here.
This is college.
It doesn't matter. It's still pay for play.
But that's what I'm saying. They should change it for college. They should make the rules stricter for college as far as performance based.
You can't put that much pressure on a college kid to say you got to be first team all league. Now you creating selfishness. There's no way you're gonna win now.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because now everybody's about to, I gotta get mine, and I'm not getting ready to play team ball. You're right.
If I'm gonna give you $1 million, you got to give me 25 points a night. This other one, I'm giving you 980,000. You got to give me 20 a night.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah. So now they're mad, and now the team cohesion is off because somebody's mad because they're not getting the ball because they can't make their money. So you're right. You're right, coach. So you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh my God, we got to fix it though.
Huh?
It needs to be fixed.
What it needs to. Well, see, here's the deal. It's hard to now because it's hard to go back. And the NCAA has allowed this, and guess what? Now they're hiding their hand. They want no part of it. They're letting the schools handle this now. It's a free-for-all. It used to be you had watchdogs and compliance officers, made sure you didn't pay it, players didn't get extra benefits and things like that. Oh, that's legal now. Why do you need a compliance officer to be a watchdog? It's not even illegal recruiting anymore. You got, especially in basketball, you got unlimited phone calls. Okay, there's only thing you still have is live period and dead period as far as going to visit. Mm-hmm. But other than that, what other rules is there to really abide by? We're going to an AAU tournament and you're not supposed to speak to the kid. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You'll get your bumps in, you know.
Oh my God! So it's a hot mess right now. I mean, where is it going?
That's the big question. I mean, you're in a bidding war now. You know what I'm saying? You get and you okay. Say for instance, Preston Sprather, right? I hired him at Moorhead. He had the big kid that's at Auburn now. Nobody knew who this kid was. Preston didn't have no NIL at that time at Moorhead State. Kid has 1 year, 2 years, all league. They win the conference. He goes to Auburn. You know, and look at the high majors now. They're coming down to the mid majors, getting guys who producing in the mid major level. But it doesn't work all the time. You know what I'm saying? You still got to recruit freshmen, no doubt about it. You still got to try to get you 1 or 2 really talented freshmen. You got to. You know what I'm saying? And then you bring it, you sprinkle it, and you got to sprinkle in the right ones because some don't fit. You know, you may get a guy that averaged 25 points at a mid-major school, right? But he's coming from a bad program that don't work hard. You know, the expectations ain't Kentucky. The expectations ain't Connecticut. So it's hard for him, and he's setting his own ways to join the club of what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? And you just gave this dude $1 million. He was getting $20 in meal money and $25 to wash his clothes. Now he's getting $800,000, and you need him. And he's like, "Man, I don't want to practice today, coach. What can you say?"
That's hard. It would be very difficult. I can see why Nick Saban and Coach K, I can see why it was time to retire.
After every season, okay, only one team's gonna win a national championship, right?
Right.
Okay. Now you win your conference tournament, and some people don't win their conference tournament. Some people's seasons end early, especially the ones that have come from a 1-bid league at the mid-major level. What coaches are dreading now is that individual meeting at the end of each year, a couple of days after your last game. And you wondering if your 2-3 star players
is coming back.
It's gonna tell you, Coach, I'm gonna enter the transfer portal.
Right.
They don't give it to you at that first initial meeting. You got to wait for a while because you want it in your mind.
Yeah, before they make a decision.
Because I can't give them this. So I know they're trying to search. In order for them to search legitly, you got to put your name in the portal.
So Mr. Brown, I think we touched on this. He has the culture of basketball, as you explained, it made college elite coaches retire, such as Jay Wright and Nick Saban. Yeah, that's what we just kind of touched on. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Because
Yeah.
you're not coaching, you can't motivate that.
You can't
They're
motivate
coming
that.
asking you how much money you got, how many touches I'm gonna get, how many shots I'm gonna get. Instead of me telling them what they need to do better to produce better next year. You see, the table has flipped. It has.
I mean, it would be hard for me if I was on that level to coach. It would be, because I was at so both head coaches at Kentucky are brand new, and when Coach Elsie got fired, I was disappointed because I was looking at her players, because I coach as well, and I'm looking at her players, and I'm like, I would be snatching this little heifer off this court because she's giving no effort, and I'm like, and she's getting fired because of this. And it was just really hard to see that, just the lack of
Kids have
effort.
your careers in their hands now.
Yes.
Your career, it depends on 18
yes.
and growth.
Yes.
How you feed your family.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
Business, but yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on a coach.
Up now, and then you could be low just in recruiting. Just recruiting maybe the most talented kid, but not a good enough kid here and here to help you sustain where you're trying to stay at the level you're trying to stay at.
How do, in this microwave society, how do parents, because you can't coach that. How do parents instill that at a young age when they don't know what they don't know when it comes to preparing their child? They see their child at a young age that has potential, that has some talent. You have an opportunity to hone your talent. You're putting them in AAU. You're paying for the personal training. But how do you instill that mental toughness without parents getting called social services on them? How do you instill that in this day and age?
Here's the deal. You got to be transparent, and then also you got to trust. And whoever you got your kid working out with, that's got to be your guy to say, hey, he's yours. You know what I'm saying? And you got to stay out of it because you're not a basketball coach. This ain't what you do. But as soon as somebody tells you that your son's real talented, he can get a scholarship, all of a sudden you go from not knowing what the world's going on, barely when you want to go to your kid's game. Now, all of a sudden, you putting on your Sunday's best. Every time he scores a bucket, you want to be the loudest one in the gym or on the field. Everybody not look at him, look at me.
Yes.
And as a coach, I'm looking at that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then when I talk to them, I'm gonna see how, if it's 9 times 10, if it's a single home, 9 times it's really a mom.
Yes.
And what you can do for her or him, or Johnny got this, and I know Johnny this, and I know, because soon as you coach Johnny hard, soon as you sit him on the bench, she'll be the first one to get you.
Yeah, she'll be the first one picking up the phone calling.
Yes.
Fussing and cussing you out.
Yes. Yes. And then going on social media talking about
and blasting you on social media. Yes.
Yeah.
It's happened to me twice, where they've taken the social media because I'm pushing their kids, or I'm looking at them and they're half running and not going hard, and exactly. and you can't say anything to them, and the first thing they want to do is go to social media and play the victim.
Right.
And they've been to NAN practice, and the two parents that had to never seen them at a game, never met them at a parent meeting, never seen them pick them up from practice, never seen them. But they was the first one to go to social media and go off, and you don't know nothing about what's going on. You're not even sitting here looking at your child not playing well.
No. And if there's not a trust both ways, Because at the end of the day, no matter how it goes, there's not a coach in America that can win the dinner table. And what the dinner table is, when you sitting at home at the dinner table talking, right? It's either going to go your way or the other way. And whichever one they decide at that dinner table, you ain't got no choice in the situation. And you could be doing your best with this kid or whatever, and they may not appreciate it, so on and so forth. And guess what? From that dinner table to that kid's mind to how he comes to practice and games every single day.
So Danny Marie said, she said that was a great question, something that was worried about. She's not pushing my kids too hard, but enough to instill mental toughness. And that's tough as a mom.
Well, you got to let them fail.
Especially if you're a mom that don't know nothing about sports and didn't play sports.
Well, here's the deal though. Back then, our moms didn't come to, I mean, my mom came to every game, but she didn't come to no practices. And
Right.
As long as there was no physical abuse and no craziness going on, she let coaches coach me.
Yeah.
And they coach me. I come from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Where them dudes got in us. You know what I'm saying? And our parents allowed them to be mentors and father figures to us. And a father figure sometimes has to, you know what I'm saying, chastise you when you need to be chastised, because it still all becomes discipline. That's what it's called.
Right. But she said she just don't like the harsh cussing at her kid. And I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You know. Mr. Brown is my name.
Ask her if a coach said, "You playing like a girl." Would that make her mad?
Would that be okay? You're playing like a girl. Yeah. Because I've said that.
Or you playing soft.
And that might have been why I got in trouble, because I said that in practice on football.
Mom, Dad, coach called me soft. And it's gotten to that point.
And I think that's why I got in trouble. I mean, I'm coaching football. I'm coaching young boy. And I said, I coach women, and you're playing like a girl, and you're playing soft. And I called them soft. I said, you soft. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
But that don't mean you don't love them. You just trying to say things that hopefully would make them mad enough to say, I want to show you, coach.
Yes.
I want to prove, coach, that I'm not soft. Instead of, you think I'm soft, so then I'm just going to quit on you. So then you just made what I said right. You acting like that, and guess what? You are acting like that. You continue to act like that. I didn't say you were. I'm just saying you acting like. And guess what?
Right.
You are. And then if you take it any further, then you really are. That's who you are.
I mean, and I think that's the part that parents don't understand.
Nah. No, the coach ain't the enemy.
I think what they don't understand is it makes us look good as coaches when you get offers.
Yes. Yes.
Especially on our level, at the pre-college level. If you're on the college level and you're coming up and your name is coming up as a draft pick, it makes you look good as a coach. We want that. And I guess that's the part they don't understand. Exactly. It's only a small percentage that get to, and I think maybe that's the perception that they think that it's easy to get. It is not. I don't know the number, coach. What is the number of D1? Let's go D1 because everybody wants to go D1 instead of playing where they fit. How many?
There's 300.
How many spots are there?
Division I schools. There's 331 Division I schools.
And how many on a roster, coach?
And there's only for men. There's 13 scholarships for men, 15 for women.
And the only reason why there's 15 for women is because of Title IX.
Right.
There's football, if it's a football school, or other sports where because of Title IX. Right. It's the only reason why there's 15 for women. Right. That is not a lot of scholarships.
No. And then when you get to the NBA, okay, that's what?
There's how many teams? 32 teams.
32 teams, right?
32, I think.
33 teams, right? Whatever. Yes, sir. Okay. You got what? 13 men on the roster. 12 men 13? On the roster. Yeah. 12, 13 men on the roster. There ain't a lot of picks.
That's not a lot of picks.
And there's a lot of really good college basketball players around the country that don't get drafted. There's only 2 drafts now. There's only two
Yes.
drafts. So, it takes a
Well,
special,
it takes a special kid to get to
but that
the
doesn't
pro
mean that you
level.
don't give everything you got to work towards that dream. That's what drives you.
Yes.
Saying that's what drives you. And what you don't want to get caught up in, because you still got to get your education
First.
first. You get a kid that loses love, and all he wants to do, he's an engineer, and he wants to get his engineering degree, but he's on scholarship, and he ain't giving you, you know what I'm saying? He's worried about that test he's got tomorrow. He's been up since 2 or 3 o'clock studying, so on and so forth. Now you got to look yourself in the mirror as a coach and say, hey, do I want to recruit this type of kid? Because you know what you're dealing with. You're not going to get 110% because he's not going to
Because
have the
his
juice.
education is priority. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Or
that's
or
another
he
thing
has
that
a
you're going to
major
get
that
at
a
the
major
mid-major
that
level, though.
yeah.
At not more so at the Power 5, because most Power 5 schools are recruiting kids that really want to be pros.
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now, but at the mid-major level I coached, those are some of the obstacles that I had to face.
Yeah, because I know a couple of players that played with around what my daughter played, and they ended up going into like the health field, or they wanted, and they ended up having to quit because it just didn't fit with,
Right.
they couldn't get the
And that ain't
classes
what you
in.
signed up for. And that ain't what I brought you here for. You know what I'm saying? I get you to almost to the finish line and you quit on me because academics reign supreme over athletics. I get that. You're not going pro. I get that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
But
sir.
as a coach, do you have to look at that knowing that, okay, this is what she's majoring in. When you ask them, what do you want to
Yes.
major in? They say, I want to major in nursing. I want to major in so-and-so. Okay. You already know the trials and tribulations that she's going to have to go through juggling both. 9 times
Yes.
out of 10, that's going to win over more so than the basketball.
Yes.
So now you got to make it. You at a crossroads in the recruiting process, saying, "Do I want to deal
Do
with
I
this
take
or
her?
should I move on?"
Yes. Yes.
And that's not a knock on the person, but that's reality, because what? I got to make sure I win games. I'm gonna make sure you go to class. I'm gonna make sure you get good grades, things like that. That's numero uno. But I recruited you to play at this university I'm at. The only reason why you're
Yes.
coming here is because of your talent as an athlete. I
Right.
expect you to get your grades, and I'm gonna make sure you get those. But I only reason why you got that scholarship and your parents ain't paying for
It's
your
because you're
education.
playing ball.
There you go.
It's because you're playing ball.
And you're gonna graduate. But man, we got to reevaluate this deal on where you majoring. You see what I'm saying? And and people don't think about that, but that's harsh
That's
reality.
real. That's a harsh reality. It's a harsh reality, but you still want, and you still want, and it's a hard line to fact, because there's so many majors and stuff that you can get a degree in, but they don't mean nothing in the real
No,
world.
and I
They don't have
understand
no
that.
money behind them. They don't have. So
I
then if you don't
understand.
go pro, you don't have a real major to fall back on that can really get you or propel you into a good career outside of sports.
Right. Like, I told you I got a 100% graduation rate. I graduated 4 engineers.
I love it.
I've had 4 players that's graduated in engineering, and it was tough for them. You know, Being in the SWAC conference, you don't have a lot of money in travel. We on
Right.
buses going from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the way to Huntsville, Alabama, or going from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or even Mississippi Valley down in Greenwood. It'll be in Mississippi, driving all the way to Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of them trying to sleep on the bus, they
They're trying
studying
to do
all
their
day.
homework.
You see, so those things, play a big major part in a lot of things that you do from a recruiting and sustainability
Is that
situation.
the biggest obstacle as a coach? What is, besides the NIL? I mean, of course, the NIL and the whole transfer portal has got to be the biggest
Mhm.
adversity for a coach in this day and age. But before that, what was the biggest adversity? Was it that?
It really wasn't. I mean, it just those four. And granted, they gave me everything they had. One really struggled with it, but he made it to the finish line. But it kind of hurt him, especially down the stretch when we got into the tournament because he's beat up mentally, tired all the time. But another major obstacle really is nowadays is the social media piece, um, keeping these guys focused and not comparing themselves to somebody else, what you got compared to what they got, where you are compared to where they are, what you get compared to what they're getting, um, that's changed a lot, and it's hard to control because you could take their phones during practice, you can take their phones on trips, you can take their phone, but as soon as they get it,
With that phone there, yeah.
trying to figure out who's what, you know what I'm saying? And what's tough at the high major level, and I think Cal was struggling with this, especially with this year's team, was when they went on that 3-game losing streak, they weren't really keen in on getting back to the winning ways or even getting better as a team to win a national championship. The most important deal for them was getting on their phone and looking where their draft status was after that game. That's hard to coach.
That's hard to
And
coach.
get guys to buy in as a team on what the common goal is. The only common goal is what you used as a carrot to recruit them. And that was to get to the pros.
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, winning a national championship and the SEC championship kind of got lost.
Was no longer the priority.
And they acted like it.
Right. But it wasn't.
Everybody plays their best to try to win and make themselves look good, making plays. But are you really getting the buy-in? That comes a long way as far as the team goals are concerned. Especially at the high major level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think another part that I didn't see, but of course I'm on the outside end, was I didn't see a lot of cohesion or I don't know the word I'm looking for, where he bought a lot of, because of people like you and Kenny. I didn't see a lot of bringing the old legendary, this is what Kentucky is like during the recruiting process. Like, why would that not be a part? Like, why would that not be a part of the recruiting process? There's no way. I'm not telling Coach Pope what to do. He runs his own program, but it would be hard for me if I was him and where he is at from where he came from on a championship team, to not have, I get this player in and they remind me of Sean Woods, and not call you and ask you to be their personal mentor, and you're talking to them after games. Of course, you can't be coaching and do that. It had to be somebody that's retired. But, just something like that, as far as, hey, this is what it means to wear Kentucky. And it's not, and just instilling that, come back to wearing about the name on the front and not the name on the back.
Well, you have to do that religiously for it to seek in with these kids, because these kids don't know who played 5 years ago.
They sure don't know y'all.
Who played 10 years ago.
Right.
And anything after that, it's a wrap.
And so to me, it has to almost kind of be like the Black movement. Like we're as a Black person, we're on the shoulders of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and people that led the civil rights movement and stuff. Like, it's kind of be like that. You're standing on the shoulders of all these Kentucky legends that paved the way for you. And this is the reason why Kentucky is the #1 school in basketball in the nation. There's a reason why we lead the whole nation over everybody else. and this is the reason why. And that's what I would like to see. I'm just saying, if I was
Well,
a
I think
coach.
Marcus, he's going to try to do that to the best of his ability. Um,
But
he's
these
got to keep
kids,
harping that. But, you know, at the end of the day, they still going to ask you, how much you going to give me, coach? And can you get me to the NBA? Now, here's the deal, coach. You keep harping that, so I know that's highly important because you keep
but
saying it over and over and over and over.
I'm
Hopefully
here to
I
get to the NBA.
hopefully I get it, and hopefully these other 13 guys with me can get it too, because still we're coming to Kentucky because of the brand, not the
Yes,
tradition. The brand is you seeing 20 guys.
he's sending 20 guys in the NBA.
Yeah, that's your main goal. And they came through this brand to get there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But they didn't sustain what? The tradition.
Tradition.
They came for the brand, but they didn't play for the tradition, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to address the rest of the questions that are on here, and then we'll wrap it up. Mike Gray said he said both of us coach the same. Give me energy style. Yeah, I was all about the energy when I
No doubt
coached,
about
and
it.
I was cussing them out at halftime. And so, yeah.
And enthusiasm. Can't do it. Like right now, when I stopped playing basketball. I stopped playing pickup basketball when I became a head coach.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I can't play like older guys play, pass, go set a screen. If I'm playing with some older guys, and I tell them all the time, I say, look, guys, you really don't want me to play with you because I'm going to find the best one out of you older guys, and I'm going to knock the living whatever out of him just so he can get mad and start talking stuff to me. Now I can start talking stuff back to get myself going. But I don't want to be portrayed as a butthole because that's who I am to get myself going. So I had to
Right.
quit playing pickup games. That was the reason why I stopped playing pickup, because I didn't want nobody saying, man, Coach Woods is a whatever. You know what I'm saying? You ought to see him playing out there, because I still talk trash. I'm still gonna come at you. I'm still gonna. So I had to just bow down and say, hey, the Lord
I'm
bless me,
done with it.
Coach. I'm gonna let this other thing go and put all my competitive juices in coaching my kids to the best of my ability to get them tough enough mentally and physically, and let me enter their soul, and I can be successful wherever I coach at. And that's what's made me pretty good.
You've done a great job. I mean, you're 20-win seasons and WAC runner-up, great conference records. I mean, so did you not apply for
It
assistant
wasn't
at
about,
Kentucky?
it was, no, I didn't apply for the head job. No, but
Not the head job. I'm just saying on the
that
staff.
assistant job is another story in itself. Um, and there's nothing really I can say about it. I'll crawl back to my university to help out. I don't think that there's not too many people out there that can coach at the University of Kentucky better than me. I'll say that.
Right.
But Mark Pope has his way and he wants his own staff. You
Okay.
got to
I
respect
understand.
that, and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So what is your most okay for? We're not gonna bring up um the game that just broke everybody's heart.
Uh-huh.
But because you played your butt off, you did your part, right? And so, besides that game, do you have a most memorable time when you was here at Kentucky?
You know what? My time at Kentucky was a magical part of my life. Um, I had a great run. I had a great career at the University of Kentucky. Everything went well except for I wasn't a first round draft pick. But as far as, Pat Riley, who, coached the Lakers and played here at the University of Kentucky, said that man's biggest fear is fear of extinction. And what that means is fear of going through life without making a significant impact on something or someone. Well, I think I did that more so than any, a lot of people. And, we've had some great players and great teams that's come through the University of Kentucky, especially with basketball. It's the winningest program in all of college basketball. And
Absolutely.
for me to make one of the biggest significant impact at this university, uh, I can't, you can't dream that. You
Yeah.
can't dream being in the rafters and having your numbers,
Numbers.
your jersey
Yes.
retired. You can't dream of, you played in considered the best college basketball game in the history of college basketball. Even though we
Yes.
lost,
It
I
was
still
still
made,
one of the best games. It's
what I mean?
still what, top 5 of all time?
So, and while you're playing, you don't think about that. It's just what people think about you and the impact you brought to this university. And for that, I'm very grateful. For that, I did a lot of things that a lot of players, great players that's come through, didn't get a chance to do or be looked at like that. You know what I mean? Like Kenny
Mhm.
Walker was the all-time leading scorer in Kentucky basketball history. But the Unforgettables reigned supreme over Sky. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But Sky was a great player, All-American, played in the NBA, won a dunk contest. But we marveled and captured what Kentucky basketball was all about. You know, 4 guys that was born and raised in Kentucky. Me, not born in Kentucky, but the whole side of my mom's family, my roots are right here in Lexington, Kentucky. You couldn't script it any better than that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what about coaching career? What's your most memorable moment?
Uh, Being at Mississippi Valley, the lowest resource school in America, going undefeated, losing, winning one game, going into the conference 1-12, because I had to raise $1 million in guaranteed games. So we had to go out and play Carolina at Carolina, UCLA at UCLA, Kentucky at Kentucky. I mean, all these major schools that you not don't have a real chance of
The chance
winning.
of beating, yeah.
But I had a plan, and my plan was I knew we weren't going to win the game, but can I win certain situations to get
Mm-hmm.
me prepared for my conference so I can dominate my conference?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And we came in the conference and won 17 straight and winning the league, and then taking Mississippi Valley to the NCAA tournament. Small school like that was a major feat. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
my thing is, can you get some of those Hall of Famers to go down to Itta Bena, Mississippi? No Pell Grant. Our kids couldn't get their Pell Grant. We weren't fully funded scholarship-wise. And we won 17 straight and go to the NCAA tournament. That's my biggest feat, because I
That's a
did
lot of adversity to overcome.
literally
Because how do
nothing.
you even recruit when they can't get Pell Grant and you don't have a full scholarship?
I'm going to tell you a story going to make you cry. Our guys were so poor, okay? The good thing, there was nothing to do in Itta Bena. All right, nothing. Little small town, ain't nothing but Mississippi Valley there. You got 2 gas stations, one across the street, the other one cat a corner, all right? My best player, 6'8", God bless his soul, he died he was a truck driver, died in a truck accident. My best player of the year in the conference, okay, called me in the middle of the night and said, Coach, these MFs done broke in my room. I said, huh? They done broke in my room, Coach. So I said, I'll be over there, right? So I told my assistants, meet me over at the dorm. We go over to the dorm, okay? He's going crazy, going off. I'm going to kill him, Coach. Whoever I'm getting him. So I said, calm down. I said, what did they get? Did they get your computer? No, Coach. I said, they took my Jordans. I said, they took your Jordans? Yeah, they took my Jordans. What else then? We can replace the Jordans. What else did they take, Paul? They took my cigarettes, Coach. I said, cigarettes? I said, man, you smoke cigarettes? No, Coach. I sell them. 2 for $1. That's how he had money, spending money.
That's how he had money, was selling
Selling
cigarettes.
cigarettes. 2 for $1 to make ends meet on campus. That's what I had to deal with and coach. and to get them guys to buy in when I had nothing else
to offer them.
Couldn't even get their Pell Grant, and everybody waits from that Pell Grant.
Absolutely, yes.
Couldn't even get that because that had to go towards their scholarship.
Mm.
And them dudes laid it on the line. They all wanted to be pros, and the only thing I had to sell them was, we got to win big, and if we win, everybody get what they want. And because we were undefeated, you had Sports Illustrated coming in there doing stories, ESPN coming in there doing stories, ESPN the magazine, like coming to this little place. Our gym looked like a old high school that was condemned, and it turned into a recreation center. That's what our gym looked like. Our gym, Dunbar High School, looks better than the gym we played in at Mississippi Valley. Now they got a nice one. You know, we helped build it, but that's what I had to sell. You know, taking them to the dorms, and the blinds was so dirty that you can take one finger and go across, and there was so much soot on it that you can probably cover a cake with it if it was icing. And when I got there, it was like watching the movie. I forget the name of the movie with when they show Kentucky and UTEP beat them. Glory Road.
Yeah, Glory Road.
And when Coach Haskins first got the job, he didn't have no money, so he was just sending guys to New York, this and that, you know. And when he walked into the gym, he saw a number of Spanish people and chickens and all that flying around, cooping around and all that. Well, when I got to Mississippi Valley, my wife looked at me and she said, "Sean, I've never doubted you, no time in my life." and you know, and I was in sales before I got into coaching. I was
I didn't know that.
At Channel 18.
Okay.
And I worked in the car business for Manuel Ford at the time. But anyway, she said, "I've never doubted you as far as your, you know what I'm saying? You can sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo." But she walked in and she saw this place. She looked at me and she said, "How in the world are you going to sell this place?" And it broke my heart, but it inspired something in me that I never knew I had. It brought so many, what I want to say, not competitive juices, but creative juices, because I had to sell a dream. I had to convince myself. So I went back home. I came back home and I got that movie and I watched it 3 times from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep. And so when I was assistant at High Point University, we played North Carolina A&T. And that was probably the best college basketball atmosphere I've ever been to. Them jokers was jamming, you know, HBCU.
HBCU is the off the chain anyway.
You know, the fraternities, sororities, every time out, they, you know, strolling and everything. So what I did was I took my laptop and I took it around the whole campus to teachers, professors, administrators, everybody. And I said, that's what I want here. That's what we need to do. And you know what? Everybody shunned me at first. They didn't believe in it. So my first team, I said, look, when we driving down, we got that bandwagon on the back, right? We coming down the street. They can be sweeping their yards or cutting their grass. They see us coming. They're going to stop doing what they're doing, and they're going to run in their house because they don't want us waving at, you know what I'm saying, who them? No. By the time I left, everybody was jumping on that bandwagon. There was so much pride in the Mississippi Delta just because of Mississippi Valley State. That impact I would never forget for the rest of my life. And that's the reason why that team and that deal was so special to me, because of the obstacles and how we brought that small community together and put them on a national stage to where ESPN and all these people are coming down to this little small town and this little small gym. And someone would be like, man, if you was my son, I'd grab you around the neck and say, son, you ain't got to do this. We can go do something else. That's how bad the place was.
Yeah. So once you got into another level and the resources, did it get easier or did you like the challenge more?
Well, I mean,
or did you have to get creative with kind of recreating that challenge when you got to a place that had more resources?
Moorhead wasn't that much better. It was better, but it wasn't that much better.
That much better. Okay, gotcha.
No.
Okay.
So you have more money from a scholarship standpoint, not more resources, but more ways to be more creative.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a HBCU.
Right.
They were being, and it was an in-state school that had
Mm-hmm.
success with college basketball.
Right.
Starting with Wayne Martin, and so there was already some things laid out they understood basketball. I
Okay.
didn't have to
Good.
recreate the wheel.
Recreate the
I was
whole
just a
thing.
former player that they bought into, bringing
Mm-hmm.
him back to a school like that, and we won there. I mean, I won almost. I had what almost every year, 21 seasons, and I was
Yeah.
I won more games in my first 4 years than any coach in the history of the school.
Yeah. And, led the OVC in rebounding 13, 14, 16, scoring margin 2016. Yeah. Home attendance increased 31%. I
We
mean,
were
you did
doing
the
it.
thing.
And the only teams that I had trouble beating on a regular basis was Belmont and Murray, because they always had pros. I
Oh,
didn't have an
okay.
NBA guy. I've had one guy to play for me that's in the NBA right now, Xavier Moon, who plays for the Los Angeles Clippers, played at Moorhead for us.
Okay. Okay. That's good
So
stuff. So
we
at
did some.
Mississippi Valley, does Jerry Rice contribute to Mississippi Valley?
Nah, not much at all. His quarterback, Willie Totten, is a really good friend of mine who actually was the coach at the time I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry don't come back much. Sometimes those HBCUs have a way of, when you donate money, they want to do what they want to do with the
They want
money,
to do with it and
instead
not,
of
yeah,
what they want to put in the general funds when he wants it to go to a specific.
just specifically to the football. Yeah.
Yes, and he
Okay.
didn't like that, so he didn't. And
I
two,
know.
from what I heard, he only had one class to finish to get his degree, and they wouldn't give it to him as an honorary, so he got it from Mississippi State, and
Oh,
so
okay.
that's who he contributes to.
So that who he contributes
He
to?
he contributes to Mississippi State. Yeah.
Sometimes we just don't see the bigger picture on stuff, do we?
No, we don't, and that's the problem. And I've had two stints at two HBCUs, especially in the SWAC, and it's the same problems, the same mentality, and it's the same. Uh, what I want to say, the same struggles. It's the same
I mean,
struggles.
you don't
And
take care of the people that you need to take care of, and I don't
no,
understand why you wouldn't do that when they have the resources to be able to,
they could do better than what
bring more resources to you.
us.
I mean, we all know that all HBCUs are underfunded, and there's most of them are under the care of, supposedly under the care of the state, and the state doesn't do what they're supposed to do as far as
No, the
funding these
state gives them the
HBCUs.
least amount of money, and when they need the most. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's sad.
absolutely, and that is sad. Coach, we're gonna wrap this up. Is okay. So you are Coach Sean Woods, one of the unforgettables with Kentucky. Is there anything that you just wanted to say publicly that you have never had the opportunity to say, or is there a question that you have not been asked that you wish someone would ask you during an interview?
Nah, because I'm pretty much an open book. You know what I mean? I've been questioned about anything and everything throughout the course of my life. And the good thing about being back in Lexington is this is home for me. There's not too many people that I don't know. Your husband's one of them. And there's a lot of people around here who have touched me and became part of the fabric of who I am. Um, from the most educated and the most prominent person here to the lowest of the low, I have gotten along with everyone because my family's here and they're friends with my friends and my UK friends. I mean, they were older. I just always gravitated to the older guys. I hung out with football players. I just hang out with basketball players. I hung out with them. I enjoyed myself and my time at the University of Kentucky, but I lived here for a long time after I graduated. So this is actually home for me. I've been with my wife since I was a freshman.
Oh,
So it's been a time for me, and I've enjoyed my time, being here for a year. I took a year off coaching, but it's time for me to get back on the horse and start riding again. So, God got a plan for me, and hopefully something will pop here in the next near future.
That's good stuff. I mean, I'm looking forward to whatever this next endeavor is going to be when you get a new coaching job, and I hope I run into you at the Dirt Bowl again, because I think that's where I met you. Right? Was that at Dirt Bowl? Who introduced us? Coach Washington, John Washington.
Somebody did. Yeah.
I can't remember who introduced us. Yes.
Wife. I was like, I gotta meet her. If she's married to Cisco Brand, I have to meet this person.
Hey, we have a good. Everybody's like, because I'm a Type A person. We both have similar personalities, so people are like, "How y'all gonna make this work?" But we have the most.
Y'all both seem like a bundle of joy. You know what I'm saying? You don't have bad days. I've never seen Cisco mad. And he's coaching. Man, he's been reffing little kids, and he reffed my son's games, and I mean, and he enjoys it. He enjoys being around it and giving back. So
he does.
People like that, you got to think big about. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
now that I've what you told me about yourself, I mean, shoot, you can't have a better partner than that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all on the same coaching staff. Woo-wee. My wife and I on the same coaching staff. Oh, Lord have mercy. She already give me the business. She already the assistant coach when I get home. Boy, I couldn't imagine having her in my ear when I'm on the bench.
Oh, you think it would be brutal?
With mine, it would be, yeah.
We don't. He has to remind me that he's the head coach.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
He has to remind me sometimes. Yeah. He calls it. He has to Nick Saban me every once in a while, where he has to remind me and put me. And I'll be like, I'll be mad. I'll be like, I need you to take over the game. I need you to do this.
Right.
But it's fun. It's fun. I think our first year, it was fun because I told him.
That's some good stuff, though, for real. That's big time. I'm being honest. I commend y'all on that, for real.
Well, thank you. We enjoy it, and we have a good time. And we're
get to see your boy play. You know what I'm saying? You get to see your boy play over in the same uniform that your hubby had on. So that's huge too.
That's huge. And there's definitely nothing more than that, because we always wanted him to go to Kentucky, but at the time when he was growing up, Kentucky wasn't doing a lot of recruiting out of the state of Kentucky. Like there was a drought until they recruited like that group with Landon and the Robinson kid out of Henry Clay. They were like the first in a long time out of Lexington. There might have been a couple of them out of Kentucky, but there wasn't a whole lot of kids that were from Kentucky on the Kentucky football roster. And so, but when he got the offer, that first time he got the offer, it was like it got real. And then when it was always his dream school, and so when we went on the official visit, and it was just, I mean, I can't express.
It was so real.
Just the joy of going through that experience with him, and even now just being able to watch him play. And then he started every game. He was on special teams. He got his first significant playing time against Tennessee when the SEC. When we started SEC play was when he actually started getting a major playing time on defense. And then his first start, he led the team in tackles against Tennessee. His second start, he was number 2. He was number 2 in tackles, and he was co-SEC Freshman Player of the Week. Wow. And then his third start was against Alabama, and led the team in tackles against Alabama, one of the best, in the nation. And as a true freshman, it just couldn't get any better than that. I mean, he couldn't script his freshman year any better than what he did.
Between y'all and then, Dante and I were in school together. He's a couple years younger than me. He played at Kentucky when I was playing there. So, to see him and his boys.
Oh, yeah. Dane's like is our nephew.
Yeah, and then you got Reed, Jeff and Stacy. Stacy she was a freshman when I was a senior, maybe a sophomore. and she was my one-on-one partner. And Jeff came in a little bit after me, and to see their son and do what he did, you know what
Oh,
I'm
we
saying?
love watching him play. He was fun to watch.
Having success because that you've raised them the right way of how you do things, and because they're playing for this too instead of this right here.
Yes.
That's why good things happen to them, because you're playing for the right reasons. If you go out, try to play basketball, and you try to get 30, you never get it. If you go out and you want to do well, make every tackle and this and that, you know what I'm saying? You done missed the read, you done something being over aggressive, and you get beat. But if you just stay disciplined because that's what you've been taught all your life and stand fundamentally tight, those are the ones who flourish in today's deal. And you don't have to be as talented or as fast because you got that.
And because your IQ is unbelievable. Your IQ, I mean, Reed's IQ is unbelievable.
Yes. And that's what made him look good. Because he was smart, and all the high prospects and the highly touted guys coming in, they didn't think he was going to do that. And because he did it, you couldn't hide him. So now he messed it up for everybody else. You got to play.
You got to play him
because he's making all the right plays.
You got to play him.
So,
yeah,
hey,
he was fun to watch. He really made it fun to watch. Well, I'm not going to hold you longer. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are very welcome.
I have to get you back on again after you get your new job, and we could talk about the recruiting process again. I especially thank you for talking about just the whole process, because parents really needed my parents to understand the point of view coming from a prominent coach like you, because they don't understand.
You can, I'm that's what I've been doing here lately, is going around speaking to different teams and youth, high school, and not educating the kids, but educating the parents on perception.
Yes.
Allow your kids, cheer for your kid. You know what I'm saying? But your kids out there playing, that's the main stage. These stands over here ain't the main stage. And it's not your business to say one thing to the ref or the coach. So you just cheer your kid on, okay? The coach ain't going to cut his nose off, spite his face. He's there to win. So he's trying to motivate your kid to be the best he can be so he can help him what? Win. At the end of the day, because this ain't a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? This is competition.
It's competition. It's competition. You know, and as a parent and as a coach, as a female, as a woman, as a former single mom. I was a single mom for 12 years. So for y'all women out there that just think I get it, you can't tell me that I don't get it. And I don't. I've coached my children. I'm a coach on the different levels, and I'm telling you, as a mom, you gotta let, especially if you're a single mom and you have these young men, you have got to find mentorship for these young men from a male point of view.
The best place for it. Just let the coaches be mentors.
Let
them be mentors. That's what this is all about. Yes.
Let them be mentors. Yes. Absolutely. Coach Woods, thank you so much for being on. Hey guys, so we're gonna wrap this up. And yeah, he's back. Yeah, don't go nowhere. I got you. I got you. So we're gonna wrap this up. I just want everybody that I guess it was a bit of a glitch in the matrix or something. Remind everybody, Hit the Heels is on every Wednesday night at 9:00. I'm gonna try to add a couple of more nights, but you guys will know when those when we can, because my schedule is hectic. I'm coaching basketball, I'm coaching football. You know, my first home women's team will be May the 11th at 8:00 at Holy Cross High School in Louisville, Kentucky. For those of you that have been asking, so y'all know I coach women's tackle football. We just won our first game. Shout out to my team, Derby City Dynamite, for winning our first game of the season, 62-0 on the road. I'm so excited about that. Coach Bryant is coaching baseball at the time. And we will be starting our football up probably in July. So if you guys are in Lexington, make sure you guys hit that up. But if you want to be a guest or you know someone that would be a great guest, make sure they hit me up on social media. I'm on everything. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, all that. Go ahead, Coach.
I got one request.
Yes, sir.
I got to see your husband's face. He got to come over and come behind you or something.
Okay, hold on. Let me get him. Babe, can you come upstairs, please? Because Coach Woods want to speak to you.
Oh, big dog.
Hey, this ain't gonna
He said, "Oh,
right,
big
man.
dog."
This ain't gonna end right. It ain't gonna end right.
He's on the way. He's on the way. Anyway, Mr. Brown, if you still on here, thank you for bringing great. Oh, he said your dribble handles was top notch, and who has the best? Oh, he said your dribble handles were top notch, and who has the best handles ever that you've been around besides you?
Besides me, Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson, really?
Kenny
was
Anderson.
the best. Who was the best player that you ever played against?
Chris Jackson.
Who's the best player of all time for you? Your favorite player of all time?
Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan.
I love it. I love it. What do you? He's on the way. He had a game today. He's had 3 games in a row, so I know he's exhausted, but he's coming. Okay. He's got you. He's got you. He brought the dog, so if he barks, so well.
It's hot up here.
I told you it was hot up here. I'm up here burning up.
What's up there? What's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
I don't know. What up? What up?
What you say there?
Hey, man. Hey, I tell you what.
Charlie Hustle?
Hey, I tell you what. You and Cutler need to do your show together. You tell him. Y'all a trip.
Hey, they call us Stephen A. And what's the other dude's name? The white guy?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's who they call me and Cutler now, man.
There's no question. I'll be at school in my office rolling. And they be like, they go, Coach. I go, oh, they go, he must be on listening to the radio. They know, because I'll be there just rolling. Y'all crack me up.
Hey, I'm on there Friday, Cisco. I'll be on there this Friday.
All right. Well, I'm in trouble again from the head principal because I won't come out of my office. Hey, but I have a question.
What's that?
That I know you probably answered it, but did you apply for the head job?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I don't want you to go back down.
That's not how that works at that level. You don't apply for
they look for
like
you.
That. You get calls.
They call you.
Your AD, you know what I'm saying? That's stuff going under the table before that coach even gets fired or leaving. AD's always got 4 or 5 guys or even 10 in mind already in case something like that happens. You know, this time I don't think Mitch was really prepared for it. Like
only because
like most. You know,
yeah, because he had that meeting, and you know, of course, when they left the meeting, they did the press conference. The first thing came to my mind, okay, Kyle's returning, and you hit it around the nose right there, Sean. Is I know he did not expect this to happen.
No, so now you gotta, you know, and the timing was, you know what I'm saying, was of essence because the transfer portal and things like that. You know, you didn't really get down to your list, so. I think Mitch came up with an idea because he was trying to get Kentucky fans back.
Yes.
And what better way? Because you didn't know if you were going to get Billy. And if you did, you had to wait 2 more weeks because he was in the playoffs.
Right.
You know, you had to hit it with a big splash. And the guys that he wanted wasn't coming here because they're at places where they're establishing their own legacy. You know, Scott Drew will have a statue built up. Baylor won a national championship. That's never happened. Baylor's not a basketball school. Danny Hurley's not leaving Connecticut, leaving the East Coast to come to Kentucky.
But neither one of their wives wanted them to leave.
Huh?
Neither one of their wives wanted them to leave.
Nobody wants to. What makes Kentucky good? What makes it bad? We're too involved. We're too passionate. Certain people have certain lifestyles. You know, they can go to work. You see them on television, but their personal lives are kept intimate. Here, you don't have a personal lifestyle. I mean, an intimate personal lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You just you can't, because everybody wants to know what you're doing, when you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? All that.
But that's what makes Kentucky Kentucky, because this is what I'm saying, and please tell me if I was wrong. I said what made people like myself and yourself who played there and alum graduated, and the bottom line was it's all three of us, and we are living in separate homes. Like, she's got her home, I got my home, you got yours. When Kentucky played basketball, you would say, I got the first party, the first game. Right. And Terry would say she got the second game. Right. You would say you got the third game. Right. And that's Kentucky basketball. It ain't national titles, but we knew we was going to be in the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four. And we was excited about that every year. Mm-hmm. And then when we stopped doing that, that's what people didn't understand that was looking in. That was the frustrating thing. You're going, we got beat.
First round. Make it to at least the finals of the SEC tournament. We know at least going to get to the Sweet 16. We're going to go to two different sites in the NCAA tournament at least. Make it to the Sweet 16 Final 8, you know. But it didn't happen.
And that's Kentucky
but here's
basketball.
The deal, Cisco. Everything has a means to an end. Mm-hmm. And Cal built a platform here. Kentucky's always been relevant because of, you know, they really had some really good players that were fun to watch. But this is Kentucky. And we like banners. We like being at the best. We like being the best. Not just having the best players. We like having the best team. We don't like when Carolina and Kansas and all those teams, Connecticut, are in the Final Four, and we not there. We're not even a player in it.
Yes.
And we get knocked up by 16 seeds, 14 seeds. Nah, they ain't supposed to be.
That's not Kentucky basketball.
Kentucky. But tell me this. When you know, he talked about, and you can answer this because I think I know, but I don't know. The bottom line is, and I said this to a huge UK fan at school. I said, here's the problem. All the players that Cal keeps talking about he sent to the NBA, they don't live in Lexington.
No.
So okay, the point I keep telling them, what is those players doing for the University of Kentucky? Because
they're doing things for him. They're doing
things for him. Yes.
They're his. They're not Kentucky. They're not Kentucky's players. They're Cal's players.
Yeah.
That's the perception that he gave. And that was the flavor that he did. You know what I'm saying? So for the last 15 years, Kentucky fans don't know Kentucky basketball players.
Right.
Like, they know me.
They know you. They know Kenny.
Up until then. They don't know these guys, even though
and that's what made it so fun.
And they came to watch them. Then you're not going to even see them at a restaurant.
Yes,
you're not going to even see them at a regular places. They ain't coming to Charles Young Community Center. They ain't coming to Dunbar to watch a Dirt Bowl game or hanging out at Douglas Park. You know what I'm saying? They not, their kids ain't going to be playing, and you're going to be reffing their games and coaching their teams. Those days have been gone for 15 years.
And the key is they ain't paying no taxes in Kentucky.
None.
They're not helping with the company money-wise.
Well, see, it's not just you. You know how people are around here. They want to get to know us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you meet people in the most random places. Yeah. You don't see these guys. Even when they played their time here, they were so coddled and protected that they didn't get to know Lexington, Kentucky. They didn't get to know the state of Kentucky. They didn't get to know. They saw the avid fan at a game, maybe an autograph session, but they ain't with their girlfriend hanging out in the mall and somebody come up and asking for an autograph, or just a normal dude that live in Lexington. You know what I'm saying? Befriending them, going to the barbershop, hanging out, getting to know common folk. They didn't experience that. And the folks here didn't get to experience that with them, which became a frustration. Now we're bringing you here. Okay, you guys are using us, but we ain't getting nothing out of it. And we damn sure ain't winning enough. So what we getting?
Not even.
It ain't working.
What we getting? Well, you know, and the funniest thing is I still remember, you know, you playing. I know y'all already went over this part, and you know, in the state of Kentucky, your shot, and then Leighton, whatever his stupid name is, he hit his shot to win, to beat us. And if you ask anyone of age and say, where was you at when that happened? I was working at a sporting goods store, and all 12 of us was around this little TV, and we was jumping up and down and going crazy. And then when Leighton hit the shot to win it, everybody just left, but the store, it was still open for another hour. We were going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't want to work with no customer service. Nobody was happy. And I hope God keeps that in my brain forever, because it was sort of like, and how I got that same feeling was when it came back when Kentucky was undefeated and got beat by Wisconsin.
Right.
That brought back that deja feeling of your year.
Yeah.
It was the same feeling, like I was empty. I was empty inside.
Cisco, people ask me all the time, tell me about Kentucky. I hear it's crazy, the fans crazy, and this and that. I said Kentucky basketball is the closest thing to a cult. And if you ever want to commit a crime in the state of Kentucky, steal somebody's car, break into somebody's store.
During the basketball game.
During a basketball game, you get whatever you want. You can speed.
We're not recommending that.
No, we're not recommending that. But what I'm saying is the state shuts down when the Cavs play.
It shuts down.
It does. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, playing football at the University of Kentucky is fantastic, but it was so. Yeah, I tell you, even with SEC play, I remember playing football, and we played, I want to say, Mississippi State, and Kentucky was playing Mississippi State. They were in the NCAA tournament, and they were there with them. I think it was Mississippi State. And I walk in, and what people don't understand, even Kentucky or SEC, and I thought we wasn't supposed to like that team. But the blessing thing about it was the older gentleman came up and said, no. The SEC is big brothers and little brothers.
That's right.
You know, if we play somebody outside of the SEC, we don't like them. But, you know, if we're playing in the SEC, we're going to battle each other. And the dude was in the whole UK, people started yelling SEC. Now, they didn't yell Mississippi State. They started yelling SEC motivating them to win. And that's what people don't understand. It's a broad, but then it comes small based on your university. So I know you've already asked this question. Now I got to ask because I just got doing my baseball thing.
We just talked coaching.
Okay, so how do you feel that Kyle is going to do? Because he's going to bring in, he's going to do his thing. How long do you think before Arkansas goes, wait a second, we want you to be a part of Arkansas, not me, myself, and I? How long do you think do they give him 3 years?
I think
he's going to bring something to the table.
No. I think he's changed. I think he's not going to go into Arkansas with the same mentality.
Yeah, I think he's going to change too.
I think he's been humbled.
And why?
I think he's been humbled in a lot of ways. I think
that's a lot of arrogance.
John Calipari is a human being. Okay.
Amen.
And some people can get beside themselves a little bit. Now, just think about this for a second. You're the head coach at the University of Kentucky. You can't go no higher.
No,
you only go lateral.
You only go lateral, okay? And laterally is a step down. Because you're not going to North Carolina, you're not going to Duke.
Yeah, if you're not going to North Carolina, Duke, or Kansas,
you're not you're not doing that.
Down.
So I lost my track. So when you get a lifetime contract at the winningest program in America, You are a Hall of Famer and a Hall of Famer inductee while you're still coaching.
Wow.
That didn't happen too much. Most coaches
normally they're
are retired. Bobby Knight did not get inducted to the Hall of Fame until he was retired.
Right.
John Wooden did not get inducted to the Hall of Fame until he was retired.
Right.
Okay? So now you give him that too? What else is there to do? You got a lifetime contract. You still recruiting the best players in America. They're still getting generational wealth. Okay? You're not hungry like you used to be coaching because he was a better coach than what I saw this year. John Calipari was a defensive dude. John Calipari was a dog. But that's when he was thriving and trying to prove himself.
Right.
Some people lose that lust. Some people lose that passion and that grit.
So the term would
and
come.
I think that's what happened to John Calipari.
So he was reading his press.
What else is there? You ain't got. Can't nobody tell you nothing.
Okay, but here's my point.
So who you proving to?
Okay, but
you got the fans. You got the fans bamboozled. They're pissed off, but they ain't not trying to get rid of you.
Okay, then my
really
question on the floor, Kansas coach. My question on the floor, coach, is this: Kansas coach. Okay,
got a lifetime contract too.
Okay, Duke's coach, Coach K. Okay,
Coach K,
the bigger picture to me when you reach that success is like football coaches like Saban. You really embrace that and appreciate it. I mean, because and when you start thinking you're bigger than the program, you start thinking you are. I'm not using the God.
Cisco,
say it again.
It never happens. Even when you are an athlete, a player, and you think you're better than the team, you be the first one out.
Yes.
Coach, you bigger than the program, you bigger than the Commonwealth, you bigger than the brand.
But here's my thing: if he goes to Arkansas and he does what he does, because I'm just trying to figure out how to get Arkansas out of the way they spell it. All right, somebody needs to explain that to me. But I'm just saying it's Arkansas.
Yeah, no doubt.
But Arkansas, I get that if you do their program like that. No disrespect to their program, but Kentucky had Sean Woods, Kenny Walker, Melvin Turpin, Tony Dell. It ain't like he built the program. The program was already built. He basically, what I tell people, he maintained it because it was already there. So how do you put yourself from your perspective? That
you tell
I heard his comment. But Marcus Cousins talked about Cal, not UK.
And he was talking about Cal. That's all they know. But
that's all they know.
Yeah. That was embedded into them.
Yeah.
They're not Kentucky. You see,
not even close. Right.
I don't care who coaches Kentucky. I'm still Kentucky.
I'm Kentucky.
It's not Kentucky, it's Cal. See what I'm saying? They got their own little clique, their own little family. They even call it what? La Familia, whatever it's called.
Yeah, something. Yes.
Them. You see what I'm saying? It ain't Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's them. And I don't care who you are, man. You now outdoing these people in the state of Kentucky, man. This is the number one program in America. And there's only been one person really who's ever failed at the job. And that was Billy Gillespie.
Gillespie.
Even Coach Sutton was successful. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he respected the brand. Rick Pitino came here. He respected the brand. He worked his butt off. And he's still one of the top 5 coaches in America.
Yes.
I agree.
At 72 years old.
I agree.
Now, the wife said y'all talked about coaching. I got to ask, because, if I wait until you get on Cutler, y'all crack jokes on, and then I'll be laughing and not hear what you said. So that's my dog too. On the hire, actually, we were out at a grown folks place, and I called Cutler. I called Cutler on that day when the hiring, who they're gonna hire, and and he was quite interested. So, what is your future? Because I know you ain't done coaching. Please
No,
tell me you ain't
I'm
done
right
coaching.
now, Cisco.
I know you already answered it, but I just want to know.
I'm in the midst of a couple things. No, I'm not done coaching.
Okay.
I'm definitely not done coaching. No. I'm
right.
not done.
So is this?
I just had to take a year off. I took a year off, one because a situation happened, it didn't work out, and then it was like the Lord told me, sit still.
There you go.
Take
Rest.
all this in.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're coaching and you coach at the level I've coached at, you always trying to climb that ladder. You know what I'm saying?
So you ever see yourself going to high school?
Climbing that ladder, you forget about enjoying the ride. You forget about, damn, Sean, you are doing a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I never thought that. I'm always trying to get to the next one, prove myself to get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And I didn't stop to enjoy what I was doing where I was at.
Right.
So when the situation happened to me at Southern University, it was God telling me, look, you're going to sit tight for a little bit, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to really get to you. And he's really getting to me. He's working me.
I love it. So you ever see yourself maybe drop into a big time high school program?
Not this point in time. Nah.
Okay.
You know,
but I said a big time high school. Big time high school. I didn't say in Kentucky.
It's got to be a big time. It's got to be a big time high school, though. And even then, I haven't even considered.
Okay. Well, I just know you know the game. But here's my point. I know you know the game. It's sort of like what I ended up doing. I was blessed in high school football. We dropped down to middle school, and it's actually been better than I thought. Because dealing with middle school kids and we're coaching and it's actually has when I watch these babies get in high school and have potential to go off to college, we have something to do with that. We taught them the fundamentals, and I sat back and I go, wow, we don't want nothing from them. We're just very proud of watching their growth, and you have the capability of teaching growth. That's why I was talking about high school.
It would have Cisco. It would have to be the right situation. You know what I'm saying? And I could talk to you about some things off here because it's not everybody's business what I'm doing right now. But but I am working on other things besides coaching. TV, ESPN, that type of deal.
All right.
Because my passion is still basketball. Even though I may be doing TV, I'm still teaching from a coach's perspective more so than a regular commentator. I'm giving you in depth on why coaches do what they do in this situation or that situation, or why did this happen? Because a lot of fans don't know, and normal people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Absolutely. They don't know that a kid might have missed class or had an outburst, and you had to deal with it on game day or night before game. You know how those deals go, Cisco.
Right.
Y'all was like prisoners. Y'all couldn't come out at all. Coach Clever didn't let y'all.
We couldn't breathe. We couldn't breathe, man. We couldn't wait till the season ended. Oh my God! But I tell you, with my son, when you say that
type of stuff.
Yeah, but with my son, when you say that, I will say, at that moment of living it, wasn't fun. But in general, that's why our group is closer than many other football groups, because we were around each other all the time. So when we grew up and became men, we're still good friends. It's 20 to 30 of us that get together, and it's pretty cool. And then I made a comment, the football player that got hit in Richmond. And I said, if that happened when we played, it'd have been 100 football players driving up the highway.
That's right. That's right.
It would have been. Everybody, I'm not making that up. You touch one, everybody's coming, because we have that bonding. Now, but you are right. We was, oh my gosh, we were in there like cattle, but we had to be locked
or something like that. You had to get up and go see Etch. Or you know what I'm saying?
3 a.m.
So
not that I had to do that.
things. A white kid is sitting out. Nowadays, back then, people understood that there was a discipline situation where certain kid is sitting out for breaking team rules. That's all you had to say.
Right.
Now you do that now. Oh man, the coach is the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, the coaches got to put up with so many other things. You can't even have discipline on your team sometimes. And for me, that drives me crazy because I couldn't do that. And you can't have order if you don't have discipline. And you definitely can't be on a championship level if you're dealing with unbasketball characteristic things. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And my favorite saying,
non-basketball characteristic things.
Yeah. My favorite saying, and my wife will tell you, I say all the time to these babies, all the time. How is it that you created the problem and you're the victim?
Yeah, no
that's
doubt.
My favorite saying. How you created. So I tell them, I said, I want to go around New Circle Road 100 miles an hour, and then the police officer pulls me over, and I get mad at the police officer. And that's a lot of these babies now.
That's the society we live in.
That's society.
But it's real tough to accept that and then asking for equality. It's tough because it's like you can't have one, like you just said, you can't have one without the other. You've got to be disciplined. You got to be willing to be coached. And you got to do what they don't do a lot of times is listen. I had to say this to a kid yesterday. I was talking and as soon as I stopped talking, he started talking. I said, you wouldn't even listen to me. All you was doing waiting till I finished talking so you could talk.
Yeah.
Because you can't be processing what I said. As soon as I stop talking, you got to comment back.
And he's not. Nope.
Well, I'm gonna end this, y'all. I know I'm gonna end this stream because we're gonna talk offline. So we done for the night, but y'all can't risk to the rest of our conversation because we just gonna go offline. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream so we don't hold y'all up any longer than what we already went. We almost broke our record with Kenny. We're going 2 hours. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for coming on. Don't log off, Sean. We'll just talk offline. We'll finish our conversation offline. I'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Hey, we still on?
We're still on.
Okay. Now understand, Sean, I'm gonna tell you, you my dog, she bumped me for you. I want the record to show. She bumped me. She bumped me.
Hey.
We should have said that offline.
She coach with you. She live with you. She do the podcast with you.
Bump me.
She get tired sometime too, man.
We putting all our business out in the street on this all over social media. Everybody see. All right, we're logging off. Don't log off, Sean.
All right.